Hey, welcome to the show. Normally we take a piece of source material and we break it all down for you. Simple, right? But what happens when the source has, well, nothing in it? Today's a bit different. We're going to pull back the curtain and show you what happens when a topic that sounds amazing leads to a complete dead end. It's a really interesting look at why our process is the way it is. Let's dive in. Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the premise, what the source promised us. Then we'll get right into the big problem we ran into. After that, I'll explain the really important production principle that guides everything we do here. And finally, we'll wrap up with the big takeaway from this whole thing. All right, so every single one of these explainers kicks off with a source. And in this case, the source came with a title that honestly got us pretty excited. It set up a really clear expectation of what we were about to dive into. So here it is. The title translates to something like, what are the clothes and lifestyle of Italian girls like? And, right away you're thinking, awesome. We were picturing a deep dive into Italian culture, fashion, daily life, social norms, you name it. I mean, what a great topic for an explainer, right? We were ready to go. So naturally, this is the next step. It's the moment of truth. We dive into the transcript to pull out all the facts, the raw data that we can build our story around. So what did we actually find in there about the clothes and lifestyle of Italian women? What's the scoop? Yeah, this is it. The entire transcript. A single, pretty confusing sentence that sounds, well, it sounds like a misheard song lyric, doesn't it? I keep on falling in and out. This is not a cultural analysis of Italy. And right here, this is where our whole plan just stopped. And that, right there, brings us to the heart of the problem. We're staring at this massive disconnect, a total gap between the promise and the reality. And we're not talking about a small difference in focus here. This is a chasm. It's so big that it literally grinds our entire process to a halt. This slide just lays it out so perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you've got this rich, fascinating topic we were all geared up to explore. And then on the other side, you have what we actually got. A handful of words that have literally zero connection to that topic. It's night and day. So as you can imagine, our production team flagged this immediately. I mean, look at the notes. First, it's completely devoid of any real information. There's nothing there. Second, it's totally disconnected from its own title. And that leads to number 3. It's just plain insufficient for an explainer. You can't explain something that isn't there. Now, this brings us to a really, really important point about how we do things here. Because you might be sitting there thinking, well, hold on. Why don't you just go do your own research on Italian culture and make the explainer anyway? And that's a fair question. The answer gets to the very core of our commitment to you. It all comes down to this one big principle, source integrity. What that means in plain English is that everything you see and hear in one of our explainers has to come directly from the source material we're given. We don't add outside info, we don't bring in our own opinions, we definitely don't just fill in the blanks. Our job is to explain the source that's in front of us, not invent a new one. It's how we stay honest and, frankly, how you know you can trust what we're presenting. Our process is usually pretty simple. Step 1, we analyze the source to find the facts and the story. Then we pull out the key takeaways, structure that story, and finally, we build the slides to help visualize it all. But with a source like this one, we can't even get past step 1. There are no facts to analyze. There's no narrative to find. The whole engine just won't start. And so this is the official and honestly the only possible conclusion our team could come to. The producer review is clear. The source material in its current form is insufficient to serve as the basis for an explainer. If we were to move forward, we'd be breaking our number 1 rule and completely going against the entire premise of this show. So what's the point of all this? What's the big takeaway? Well, this isn't just some internal production headache. It's actually a pretty powerful lesson, especially today, about information itself. It shows why the quality, the very substance of a source, is absolutely everything. And this number, this says it all, doesn't it? 0. A big, fat 0. That's the number of verifiable facts, the number of details, the number of anything about the lifestyle and clothing of Italian women that we found in the transcript. The source was basically an empty box. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought to chew on. We live in an age of just endless content, right? Every single day, we see these incredibly compelling titles that promise us the world. They promise to teach us, to shock us, to entertain us. But this whole experience is a really good reminder to always wonder, what's actually inside? How often does a great title just hide an empty box? It's definitely something to think about next time you click. Thanks for joining us for this little peek behind the curtain.